Chanley, you've been there all day, all night. What's happening?
Hey, Vinny, I have some new updates from when I was on with you last, and that is the photographers, the crime scene investigators still inside this home at the time, because we can literally see them through the second-story window in their crime scene suits. You know, they cover themselves so they don't leave anything behind as they collect forensic evidence. We can see them up there on that second floor still working. But in the meantime, the third floor, there was the middle window on the third floor. The light was on when I was live with you last. Now the light is turned off on the third floor. But before we noticed the third floor window light, the light turn off through the window, there were photographers up there, like we witnessed on your show just moments ago on the second floor, CSI taking photos. As we can see now on the second floor, they're taking photos. So they're still actively working this scene. They've been here all day long. It's been roped off with crime scene tape. We see the victim's vehicle still parked out front. We've seen investigators walk in and out of the front door of this home carrying giant boxes, I presume full of evidence. On the back side, we witnessed investigators, of course, taking out evidence from the back door, which is the second floor of this house, through a sliding door. They were actually dusting for fingerprints on the back window pane next to that sliding door. And this is almost a week after 4 University of Idaho students were found brutally murdered inside this home. And what we've been hearing in the report, what's being reported, is that 2 of the victims were on the second floor, where we see now the crime scene investigators collecting forensics, and on the third floor of this home is where they were actually located. We're also learning some new details from the Moscow Police Department this evening. They're confirming that, of course, the 4 murdered inside were stabbed to death multiple times while they were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds. Maybe they heard what was going on and woke up. We don't know, but we're confirming there's no sign of any sexual assault or what maybe some have speculated as motive in this crime. Also, there were 2 surviving roommates in this multi-room home that were unharmed, and the detectives have ruled them out. They believe that the 2 surviving roommates and a young man that is seen in video at the food truck where 2 of the victims were hours before their death, they've ruled them out. They are not involved in this crime. Additionally, we learned from the police this evening that any rumors that these victims had been tied or gagged, that was not accurate. They still, though, aren't releasing who called 911, because they're saying that these murders happened around maybe 3 or 4 a.m. last Sunday morning. Police were not called until noon, and they arrived to this home with the front door wide open. They've released that there's no signs of forced entry in this home. And when we've been here, we've noticed that the front door has a door handle with a security code lock pad that some sense of maybe security here at the home, but they say no forced entry, and this is still no murder weapon found, still no suspect or suspects named. We know that the dumpsters that are to my right and left here at the home, they've collected items. They did mention that. And they also are confirming that they've contacted local businesses here to determine if a fixed blade knife had been recently purchased. The Idaho Statesman had talked to a local hardware owner store, and he says that the police were in town asking about some kind of combat style or Rambo-style knife blade. That's just so scary to think about here, Vinny. And this happened here. I've been out in the town talking to people and neighbors without any arrest and really not much info from the authorities. You know, many people are still on edge and in fear, have left town. I've talked to the neighbors. I know I spoke with one with you live on air just an hour ago, but we've spoken to more since we've been out here. They say that, you know, this is just steps from the University of Idaho campus. A lot of students live here, and so as you can imagine, the parties happen here. We're less than a block from Fraternity Row on campus, where 2 of the victims were at a party before their deaths. So the neighbors say that, you know, it's usual to have parties in this area at this home where the crime scene is, and it's not unusual to hear people excited or screaming or, just being loud. The neighbor I talked to earlier said they just put on a fan, they drown out the noise, and they go to sleep. So it is unusually quiet here, and people are being more cautious, not only here in this area, but on the campus. Students have gone home for the Thanksgiving holiday, and you can definitely see, Vinny, the increased security, not just of the campus police and Moscow police, but state police here, as well as the FBI are inside this home right now, and private security. The campus has hired private security as well.
I could understand. And again, you're looking at live pictures, folks. This is inside the murder house. You've got photographers with their protective gear on that are taking pictures of the murder scenes. This is a 3-level house, as Chanley has told us. The murders, we believe, took place on the 2nd and 3rd floor. That 2nd level can be accessed from ground floor behind the home. From this side where Chanley is, that front door kind of goes to the lower level, the basement level. Chanley describing it, a lot of parties, it's college. You got red cups right there. There they are. It's just a typical college house. Typical college kids doing what college kids do, only in this case, someone entered that scene and took the lives of 4 of them. Chanley, so just to, once again, I want to go over the big headlines that you've told us. I want to make sure no one is missing this. And you've got, on the one hand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the murders taking place on the 2nd and 3rd level. Coroner believes everyone may have been sleeping. They think it happened at sometime around 3 in the morning. We've gone through a timeline. It seems everyone got back around 1:45, although there was some reporting from one of the sisters of one of the victims that her sister may have been on the phone with her friend a little bit later, like after 2 o'clock, 2:30 or so. And they're looking for a Rambo-style 6-inch bladed knife is what they believe may be the murder weapon here, although they have not recovered anything. Did I get it all right, Chanley?
Yes, you did, Vinny. And one of the fathers of, I think it was Xana, her dad spoke with her just midnight, the night she was murdered. And you mentioned the knife that they're looking for. The victim was stabbed multiple times in their rooms. It seems as though what we're showing you right now, that's a room on the back side of the 2nd floor that they are inside. And Vinny, we have a photo of what's on the outside of that room, and that's blood seeping through the walls where the crime scene technicians are right now, taking photos and collecting evidence. So it's on the back side of what we're showing you currently. This is such eerie. I mean, that just goes to the magnitude of this scene, the brutality. It's just unbelievable. This is active scene all day. This, we see right now media from all over the nation. As you can tell, Vinny, this is a growing story. This is a community that wants answers, and family members of these victims, as you mentioned, speaking out, even conducting their own investigations, trying to find video from neighbors here. There are tons of neighbors here. And this house is surrounded by other buildings with multiple residences and apartment complex and condos surrounding this kind of on a hill incline. You have to wind your way up a hill. But for GPS, I would not know. I mean, you just can't randomly find this home, Vinny. It is so apparent being here on the ground why the authorities think that this is a targeted attack. Not only were there survivors in the home that were unhurt, but you have to know where you're going to get here. Vinny, it's so clear that whoever did this, or multiple people, we don't know, one or more people that did this, knew who was in this home and where to go and how to get here.
Yeah, that's a key factor, right? If it's targeted, right, whether it's targeted by a stranger who's been observing them for some time or somebody involved in their lives, they may have had to have been in there previously, because this is a 3-level home with 6 bedrooms. 6 bedrooms, so it's not so easy to find someone if you just see someone walk inside. You'd have to know a little bit about the layout of this place. Chanley Painter in Moscow, Idaho.